Hello, viewers, good day, and welcome to another beautiful and interesting episode of English speaking class with Tutor Olowo Esther. You can always find me on social media platforms with the brand name Speak Right English Academy. I am Olowo Esther, and this video is proudly brought to you by Egotel Virtual Learning Platform. You're welcome. Thank you for joining today's class. Get ready to learn as we proceed into today's class. Today, we are going to examine a very important topic in the oral aspect of English, and we will be looking at the topic understanding the classification of consonant sounds. This topic is one that many students usually find difficult in every oral English exam. And I believe that with constant attention and understanding of today's class, you will have a better understanding of how to classify consonant sounds and the features of consonant sounds in general. But before you go into this class, I would advise that you go and study my video on the topic consonant sounds and their examples. Therein, I was able to explain the different consonant sounds in English, their definition, their description, and the examples of words that you can form with each consonant sound in English. So if you have not watched my video on consonant sounds in English, I would want you to go and watch it so as to have a background knowledge and an introduction to this lesson for today. So I would urge you to go back to my videos and search for the meaning of consonant sounds and watch it before you come to watch this video. By the end of today's class, you will be able to state classes of consonant sounds. You will be able to identify each consonant sound given based on their class, and you will be able to give examples of words for each consonant sound in English. Just as I said earlier, in today's lesson, we will be looking at the different categories, the different classes of consonant sounds based on their different categories. So, in today's class, we will be looking at the stops, the liquids, the nasals, the affricates, the glides, and the fricatives, just as you can see on the screen. But before we go into that, I would love to refresh our memories on the definition of consonant sounds. Just as we know, the English consonant sounds are 44 in number. The English sounds, the total of all the English sounds are 44 in number, and these 44 speech sounds can be further subdivided into consonant sounds and vowel sounds. The consonant sounds are 24 in number and the vowel sounds are 20 in number. So the 24 consonant sounds are our concern for today's class. Okay, so what are consonant sounds? Consonant sounds are sounds that are produced with some amount of obstruction in the flow of the airstream coming from the lungs at some point in the mouth. That is to say, when you pronounce a consonant sound, there is a constriction, there is an obstruction, there is a partial or total blockage of the air coming from your lungs at some point in your mouth, either at the point of the velum, at the point of the tongue, at the point of the tooth, at the point of the glottis, or at the point of the lips. At any point in the mouth, when you produce a consonant sound, there is usually stricture or blockage or obstruction of the airflow coming from your lungs, and so the airflow does not come out freely. Okay, so there is a blockage in that airflow such that it is unable to come out freely. So that is the characteristics of a consonant sound. However, consonant sounds differ from vowel sounds in that vowel sounds are produced with a total release of air there is no blockage at any point in the mouth. And that is what makes consonant sounds different from vowel sounds. Okay, so basically we have 6 classes of consonant sounds based on how they are produced. That is, based on their manner of articulation. Okay, so in today's class, we will be looking at the stops. The stops. Okay, so in after today's class, I would want you to quickly go through all of these uh, description on your screen and be able to understand each of the mouth positioning for each of the speech sounds in order to be able to know how to pronounce them. We have p, we have b, we have d, t, g, and so on. Okay, so we have the stops, we have the liquids, we have the nasals, we have the affricates, we have the glides, and we have the fricates. So each of these sounds are categorized under these classes of consonant sounds based on how they are produced. So as we further progress, I will explain each of these consonant sounds based on the name that they are given according to their manner of articulation. As a speaker of English language, you must be able to get yourself conversant with each of the uniqueness of every consonant sound in English in order for you to be a good master of each of these uniqueness and be able to use them when you want to make use of consonant sounds or when you come across them in given words. And as such, you will be able to clearly distinguish between them in speech, in conversation, in listening, and so on. So, for the purpose of today's class, we will be talking about categories of consonant sounds based on their place of articulation, their manner of articulation, and state of the glottis. When we talk about state of the glottis, we are talking about the the condition of the glottis when a particular consonant sound is produced. Okay, so in that category, we have the voiced sound and the voiceless sound. Do stay tuned as we check each of these categories of consonant sounds one after the other. So we will be looking at the classes of consonant sounds based on a place of articulation. We want to see classes of consonant sounds based on their place of articulation. And when we talk about place of articulation, we are talking about the organs of speech that are involved in producing particular consonant sounds in English. Okay, so first of all, we have the bilabial sounds. The bilabial sounds. Bilabial sounds are sounds that are produced with the two lips coming together. The two lips come together to produce a bilabial sound. Okay, so that is why we call them bilabial sound. Next, we have the labiodental sound. That is the lips and the teeth coming together. So the lower lip comes against the upper teeth to produce a labiodental sound. Okay, so under the bilabial sound, we have consonant sound p, consonant sound b, and consonant sound mm. Under the labiodental sounds, we have the f, consonant sound f, and consonant sound v. Then we have the dental sounds. The dental sounds are sounds that are produced when the tongue comes against the teeth. Sounds that are produced when the tongue comes against the teeth. Now let's try pronouncing these sounds. We have as in 30, as in 30, and then the. Your tongue comes in between your your upper teeth and your lower teeth, and so you have the as in father, the as in father. Then with the other one is as in 30, as in 30. Okay, so those are the first three that we will be talking about under place of articulation. Still on the place of articulation, we have the alveolar sounds. The alveolar sounds are sounds that are produced with the alveolar ridge. The alveolar ridge is the portion of your mouth behind your upper front teeth. Okay, so whenever we produce alveolar sounds, your tongue goes against the alveolar ridge. It touches the alveolar ridge to produce alveolar sounds. Okay, so examples of sounds in that category include ts, ts, as in time, table, television, wristwatch. Then we also have d, d, as in dirty, dog, dove, sing, sing, z, 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 as in zebra, zebra, zip. Okay, then we also have the post-alveolar sounds. The post-alveolar sounds happen, they are speech sounds that are produced just after the alveolar ridge. So we have the post-alveolar sounds described as speech sounds that are produced just behind the alveolar ridge. So we have sh, sh, as in shoe, as in shirt, as in shower. We have it's like a vibrating Z, but it is not a vibrating Z per se. So we usually vibrate, the vocal cords vibrate when we produce them. When we produce it, we have as in pressure, seizure, and so on. Then the palatal sound. The palatal sound, still on place of articulation, we have the palatal sounds. Palatal sounds are sounds produced when the tongue touches the hard palate. Remember, we have the soft palate and we have the hard palate. So when your tongue touches the hard palate, we have what we call the production of the palatal sounds. And the palatal sounds include j, j, as in yellow, young, yam, youth, and so on. So those are examples of sounds that we have under the palatal sounds. Further along under place of articulation, we have the velar sounds. The velar sounds. The velar sounds are the sounds that are produced with the velum. The velum is that portion of your mouth that looks like a bell dangling down your soft palate like a bell. That is the velum. So the back of the tongue goes against the soft palate to produce the velar sounds. Back of the tongue, that is somewhere behind the tongue, it rises up to touch the soft palate to produce what we call the velar sounds. So we have examples such as k, k, as in kingdom, as in kettle, k, k. Then we have g, 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 as in governor, as in girl, as in young. Then we have ng, 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 as in young, king, and so on. Then we also have the glottal sounds. The glottal sounds produced at the vocal cords. The glottal sounds are produced at the vocal cords, and that has to do with the vocal cords has a tiny space in between it, and that space is called the glottis. So any sound produced in the area of the glottis is referred to as a glottal sound. So the glottal sound, the only glottal sound in English is as in house, as in house, human, and so on. We will continue by looking at classes of sounds, consonant sounds, that are classified according to their manner of articulation. We want to see classes of consonant sounds according to the way we pronounce them. That is the manner of production of these sounds. Okay, so first of all, as you can see on your screen, we have the plosives. We have the plosives. and plosives are otherwise referred to as stops because of their characteristics. Plosives are sounds that are produced when airflow is initially completely blocked. When you pronounce a plosive sound, initially airflow is completely blocked, then released. Airflow is completely blocked, then released suddenly. So that is why we call them plosives. Okay, they are explosively they are initially blocked and then explosively released with an explosive sound. And so sounds that we have under that category include p, p. Remember, we have categorized p and b under bilabial sounds, but because of the way they are produced, because of the manner we are producing them, we also have them under plosives. So they are classified as plosives. So we have p, b, t, and d. P, b, t, and d under plosives. Notice the explosive release of air after the initial blockage. Then we have the fricatives. Fricatives. There is a narrow constriction causing friction. Whenever we are producing a fricative, the airflow from the lungs is narrowly constricted, that is obstructed, causing friction. So there is a narrow passage through which air escapes from the mouth, and so there is friction whenever we produce a fricative. And sounds in that category include notice the noise in the production because airflow is coming out from a very narrow passage, and as such there is noisy production of sound. And so we have as in fight, as in future. We have v as in violin, very, vulgar. We have s as in snake, symptom, send, ways. We also have z, z, z as in zebra. There you can listen to the friction. We have z as in zebra. So f, v, s, z cause frictional noise whenever we pronounce them because of the narrow passage of air, and that is why we call them fricatives. Also, under manner of articulation, we have affricates. Affricates. Affricates are produced by a combination of a stop and a fricative. That is, they are sounds that are produced by the feature of a plosive, that is the stops, and a fricative. Okay, so when we produce an also under manner of articulation, we have affricates. Affricates. Affricates are produced by a combination of a stop and a fricative. That is, they are sounds that are produced by the feature of a plosive, that is the stops, and a fricative. Okay, so when we produce an affricate, there is a stricture, that is a blockage of air, and then there is an explosive gradual release of air when we are producing an affricate. So an affricate combines both features of a fricative and a plosive, that otherwise called stops. So we have examples such as ch, 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 as in church, champion, chief. Then we also have j, j, as in July, January, jam, jelly, and so on. Okay? Or further along, we have the nasals. Nasals. Remember, the word nasal is taken from the word nose. So, when we produce a nasal sound, air passes through the nose. Air passes through the nose. The velum is lowered to allow the air to pass through the nostrils, and when we produce a nasal sound, airstream passes through the nostrils as the velum is lowered to block the airstream coming from the lungs, and so air is able to escape through the nostrils, thereby producing a nasal sound. Examples of nasal sounds include we have just three of them, as in mental, mountain, myopic. We have as in neat, next, night, and then we have as in king, kingdom, and so on. We also have, under manner of articulation, we have approximants. The approximants are similar to vowel sounds in that whenever we pronounce them, there is usually total a partial blockage of air. There is minimal constriction of the release of air. So the release of air is almost like that of a vowel sound in that there is minimal constriction, there is minimal blockage. So examples of sounds in this category include as in light, lending, life, as in rest, right, as in wisdom, which, then as in young, you, yellow, and so on and so forth. Lastly, under classification of consonant sounds, we will be looking at classes of consonant sounds based on the state of the glottis. Classes of consonant sounds based on the state of the glottis. At this point of the class, I would want you to participate fully in order to get my explanation at this point. Already, I told you that when you are having a speech class, you must be able to participate by pronouncing the sounds you can hear along with your tutor in order to get yourself acquainted with the individual distinction of each of the sounds in order to get yourself to be a master of them. Now, we will be looking at sounds, categories of sounds based on the state of the glottis. Like I said earlier, the glottis is a narrow passage in the vocal cords. Whenever the glottis is open, we produce what we call voiceless sounds. And whenever the glottis is closed, we produce what we call the voiced sounds. So, the state of the glottis refer to whether the glottis is closed or open. So, voice sounds are sounds that we produce when the vocal cords vibrate. The vocal cords will vibrate if the glottis is closed. So whenever the glottis is closed, the vocal cords vibrate because the airstream coming from the lungs is constricted from coming out from the vocal cords. And so there is a vibration as a result of forceful release of the airstream. Okay, so we have, at that point, we have a voiced sound. So, as we produce the examples of sounds in this category, I would encourage you to put your hand in your vocal cords. Your vocal cords are the apples under your chin. The apples under your chin is where your vocal cords is located. So, I would want you to put your hands there as we produce this sound and feel the vibration in your vocal cord. Okay, we have consonant b, 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 as in birthday, as in beautiful. We also have consonant d, d, as in dirty, diaphragm. We also have g, g, as in gift, girl. Then we have z, z, as in zebra, zebra, zip, zip. Okay, so those are examples of voiced sounds. You can also look at the remaining consonant sounds and look at the remaining consonant sounds that are voiced sound based on when the vocal cords vibrate. So you will produce a voiced sound when the vocal cords vibrate. A voiceless sound, on the other hand, are sounds that are produced when there is no vibration in the vocal cords. Like I said earlier, when the vocal cords, when the glottis is open, to allow a free flow of air the from the lungs, coming the airstream coming from the lungs. When the glottis is open to allow a free flow from the vocal cords, there is usually no vibration in the vocal cords because the air is flowing out freely. And as such, we have the production of a voiceless sound. Examples of sounds in this category include consonant sound as in pets, people. You can put your hand in your vocal cords as well to check. We have ts, 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 as in time, tent, t, t. We have k, k, as in kite, kingdom. We also have s, s, as in snake, sift, and so on. You should give your own examples of each of these categories of consonant sounds in order to get a hang of where each of them belong to. In summary, we have three classifications of consonant sounds in English under place of articulation, manner of articulation, and the state of the glottis, where consonant sounds are classified as either voiced or voiceless. So, as you can see on your screen, under place of articulation, we have the plosives, consonant sounds b, b, t, d, k, and g are plosives. We have the nasals, and We have the fricatives, f, v, s, and the, s, z, sh, z, z, and we have the affricates, ch, ch, and j, j. We have the approximants, which are otherwise called semivowels because of their little constriction to the airflow coming from the lungs, and they include j, u, l. Okay, so do not forget that we also classify consonant sounds based on their manner of articulation and position of the glottis. And that is where we have some sounds as voiced and some sounds as voiceless. So I would encourage you to further go into different examples of words and different examples of exercises in order to get yourself really acquainted with each consonant sounds in English. Let us look at some examples of WAEC past questions to test our understanding of consonant sounds, just as we did in this lesson. From the words lettered A to D, choose the word that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the letters underlined. So you are to choose the word that has the same consonant sound by the letter underlined in the given word. We have the word bat. Bat, consonant B has been underlined. So we have option A, limb. Option B, dam. C, subtle. Subtle, and D, nimble. Nimble. So you have to pick the correct answer. The answer to that question is in option D, and that is nimble. Nimble. The reason for that is that in the word bat, we have option A, limb. In the word bat, letter B, which sounds B, has been underlined. So in the word limb, the B is silent because it comes after letter M. Whenever B comes after letter M, whenever consonant B comes after consonant M, the B will be silent. So we have limb. The B in limb is silent. The B in dam is silent. The B in subtle is also silent. But the B in nimble is not silent. Okay, so that is why the nimble is our correct answer to that question. From the words lettered A to D, choose the word that contains the same consonant sound as the one represented by the letters underlined. We have jingle, jingle, and consonant j has been underlined. J, jingle. Consonant j has been underlined. So we have option A, U, B, large, C, grip, and D, leg. So you have to pick the correct answer that contains the underlined sound. So our answer to that question is option B, large, large. And that is because large contains consonant j as underlined in the word jingle, jingle. So we have U, U does not contain j. Grip does not contain j. And lag does not contain j. But large contains j as in jingle. Alright, so that is the answer. In the word ask, ask, s and k have been underlined. So you have to pick the word that has sk in it. So option A, we have text, text. B, secure. C, scheme. And D, X, X. You have to pick the word that has the underlined sound in it. The answer to that question is the word scheme, scheme. So, because in the word ask, s and k has been underlined, which sounds sk. So, tax, tax contain k and s and not s and k as underlined. Secure does not contain s and k. Axe, axe contains k and s, but scheme contains s and k. So that is why option C, scheme, is the correct answer. From the words lettered A to D, choose the word that has the same consonant sounds as the one represented by the letters underlined. In the word hind, hind, we have consonant a glottal sound underlined. So, in the word, in the options under it, we have rhyme, we have vehicle, we have C, cheater, and D, inhale. So, which of them contains consonant as underlined in the given word? The answer to that question is option D, which is the word inhale, inhale. So, in the word hind, consonant the glottal sound has been underlined. And so, in the word rhyme, the H, the in rhyme is silent. The in vehicle is silent. The H in cheetah is also silent. But the H in inhale sounds it is not silent. So, it is the same as the one underlined in the word hind. From the word scrap, consonant sound p has been underlined. So you have to pick the word that has p in it. Option A, we have palmistry. B, we have physics. C, we have psalm. D, we have psychiatry. So you have to pick the word that contains consonant p in each of those words. Alright, the answer to that question is option A, palmistry. Palmistry, because only palmistry contains p as underlined in scrap. Physics contains letter P but it doesn't contain sound p. Psalm contains letter P but the P is silent. Psychiatry contains letter P but the P is equally silent. Whenever P comes before an S, the P is going to be silent. That is the rule. Okay, so when we want to give answer to that question, our correct answer will be palmistry. Only palmistry contains consonant sound p as underlined in the word scrap. We have finally come to the end of today's class on classification of consonant sounds. I believe that you have learned a great deal in this class and you will still continue to learn by making use of various past WAEC questions to broaden your knowledge and practice examples. By so doing, you will be able to get a good mastery and get a good hang of all these consonant sounds. Also, you need to constantly practice in order to be a good speaker, to be a better speaker of English language. Thank you and God bless you. Bye. Thank you. Goodbye.